Tonight on CTV News, the country's biggest talkfest comes to Christchurch. A bus shelter with a hefty price tag, and a campaign is launched to help every young Kiwi reach their full potential.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening. The search continues in North Canterbury for a missing elderly man. Raymond Finney has been missing for a week. His Suzuki Swift was found on Whitecliffs Road in Hororata on Wednesday. There's a possibility it may have been there since Monday. The 74-year-old was last seen wearing grey track pants and a dark woolen fishnet jersey. 25 police and land and rescue volunteers are involved in the search. It's one of the country's biggest talkfests, and this weekend it's Christchurch's turn for TEDx. One speaker is here to discuss the Canterbury rebuild, its progress and how leaders and citizens can work more effectively together.
It's his first trip to Christchurch and to New Zealand, in fact, taking part in the TEDx conference at the Isaac Theatre Royal. Being here for less than 24 hours, he's already embraced the central city vibe.
Everywhere you go, you hear cranes and jackhammers and machinery and the rest, and just that very physical sensation of this is a place with energy. This is a place where people have this feeling of excitement about reimagining and rebuilding.
Liu has an outstanding CV. He worked at the White House as a speechwriter for Bill Clinton, later taking up a deputy domestic policy role. He was also appointed by President Barack Obama recently on the board for National and Community Service, but ultimately he leads his own non-governmental organisation.
All our work is about teaching the art of power in civic life and really democratizing understanding of how power operates and how people get things done in a community.
He urges Canterburyans to make their voices heard in an environment where most of the city is rebuilding from scratch.
We've walked around Central City and just bumped into random people, and it's not just a message that I'm bringing here from the United States. Actually, quite frankly, it's a message we're hearing from people. Baristas and people on the street are just talking about decisions and whether they like this public art or not that public art, whether they like the way this is being constructed or reconstructed or not. And so I think it's in the air right now in the city, people recognizing that they have both the opportunity and the responsibility to have a say.
April next year will see Sarah close its doors to be replaced by a new joint council and Crown organisation designed to have more input from a local level as the rebuild continues its transition back to the Christchurch City Council in around 5 years' time.
Obviously, in Christchurch, since the earthquake, that is in some ways the central question. Who decides? How do you make a decision? How do you collectively imagine and then build a new city? People aren't born knowing how to make decisions like this. This is about a matter of learning, in a sense, literacy in how power operates. I think it's always a complicated mix. You have to have some central authority, like CIRA, that is able to harness and coordinate a lot of the energy and the activity, and at the same time, particularly in a free society, frankly, it's super important that everyday citizens feel like they have a say and that they're being heard and that their preferences and choices are being reflected in the process that results out of that central body.
He says the delays like the anchor projects and other plans can take time, a normal process in most democratic societies.
I think it's normal in normal politics, quote unquote, for people to feel frustrated and to give up on the challenges of making government and policymakers respond to you. And this is not a normal situation. 4 years past a massive, devastating earthquake, it can be very frustrating that things aren't happening either instantly or the way you might like them as a citizen.
But he has some advice.
To stick with it. The only way this city gets rebuilt in a way that reflects the will of all the people is if all the people stay engaged. Checking out is not checking out. Checking out is deliberately handing over voice and power and authority to people whose interests and preferences may be completely inimical to your own.
He hopes to explore more of the South Island before he jets back to the US in 10 days' time. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Significant delays for a major anchor project has forced a large conference to head to Auckland. The Asia-Oceania Conference of Physical and Rehabilitation Medicine was supposed to be staged in Christchurch, but ongoing delays because of budget blowouts means the city will miss out. The meeting was due to be hosted here in November. Well, there's nothing more annoying than turning on your phone and running out of battery power, is there? Particularly when you're out and about. But for some Linwood residents, this may no longer be a problem. The area is now home to the first ever solar-powered bus shelter in New Zealand, which is able to charge your device while you wait for your ride. Emma Jane McClellan reports.
Linwood residents are the first in the city to try out a new solar-powered bus shelter. In fact, they're the first in New Zealand. The Christchurch City Council has installed the bus stop near the corner of Gloucester Street and Stanmore Road in a bid to improve the waiting experience for bus passengers.
People will be able to, as they're hopping on and off the bus, if they need to charge up their phone or tablet, they'll just be able to do a little 10 or 15 minute top up maybe while they're waiting.
The shelter was designed by award-winning Christchurch company SolarBright, so will also be supporting the local economy. It is the latest in a series of solar-powered trial projects from the council, including a number of solar tables in and around the city.
We've actually been working on this for the last sort of 6 to 12 months, and we've been working with SolarBright, who were recent champions Canterbury winners, to help us develop this prototype.
While the prototype solar features have cost a total $18,000, it has been deemed worthwhile by council. The bus shelter fits in with the suburban centre's Linwood Village master plan, as well as being part of a much larger vision for Christchurch.
Things about having a solar charging device in the shelter is that it adds to the resilience of the city, and Christchurch is one of the 100 resilient cities around the world, so we like the idea that we're for the Linwood community, enabling a small element of their resilience.
So the question is, will the rest of Christchurch be able to expect solar-powered bus shelters of their own in the near future? It appears the City Council will look at that.
So we've put a counter device in the 2 USB charging ports, and we're asking the community for feedback. So we'll get that feedback and evaluate how useful people have found it before we decide to roll it out or look at how we might roll it out around the city.
And the council's focus on solar projects could bring more exciting development soon. For instance, their solar-powered tables may soon be fitted with induction devices, so you can charge your device without even plugging it in. Emma Jane, CTV News.
Still to come here on CTV News, we look at a campaign trying to help every young Kiwi reach their full potential. Welcome back. The Aotearoa Gorge on State Highway 93 from Canterbury to the west coast will continue to have lane restrictions in place for the next 2 weeks. The Canterbury Transport Agency hopes to replace the guardrail over the next fortnight. Lanes will be reduced while the work continues. Temporary barriers are in place to keep vehicles away from the edge. Well, 2 brown kiwi have been transferred from Orana Wildlife Park to Tongariro Forest today as part of a program designed to increase our native birds population. Jared McCulloch explains.
They may not fly, but this wee kiwi is taking on a new adventure. Spot and Nui are both close to 10 months old, and they're heading by plane to Palmerston North, their new home.
These are both North Island brown kiwi, so they're going up to Tongariro National Park, so very exciting day for us today.
They're just 2 of the 9 kiwi that have been growing up here at the park, getting set to be released back into the wild. It's all part of a recovery program, with Department of Conservation data showing a decline in the bird's population around 8,000 in 2008. But Sultan says they're hoping to change that.
We're still trying to halt the decline, but it's really important for New Zealanders to embrace the kiwi. They're an absolutely amazing and a really unique bird.
She says a large amount of volunteers around the country are also jumping on board to help with the decline, an important step for the kiwi's future.
There are a lot of community groups that are actually taking ownership of areas and actually working to build big teams of volunteers to do a lot of trapping work, which is one of the best ways to help look after the kiwi, because you want to keep them in the areas they're naturally found.
We met Nui, the female kiwi.
The females are quite a bit larger than the males, so her bill will end up being down about here when she's fully grown.
With all her checks done, she's ready to go. There's a few other places too the bird could call home.
We have 2 different provenance, eastern and western, and so some are going to one side of the North Island and the others are going to the other side. So it's really cool because we're getting to meet lots of other people working with kiwi around the country and doing this.
But she says our national icon needs as much help as it can get.
If you can donate to causes like Kiwis for Kiwi, it's really awesome and you do help save them. So we desperately want Kiwi to remain in New Zealand and be our national icon forever.
3 more Kiwi from Arana Wildlife Park are due to be released back into the wild before the end of the year. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Repairs to earthquake-damaged headstones in the Selwyn district are nearing completion. Around 1,100 headstones needed repairs as a result of the earthquakes, with most of the cemeteries dating back to the 1800s rather. 13 of the 19 cemeteries have been fixed, with work on the remaining 5 needing repairs, which should be finished early next year. Well, a campaign aiming to help every young Kiwi reach their full potential has been launched in Christchurch. Emma Jane McClellan reports.
Erica Austin is an inspiring woman. She works with the Ministry of Awesome, has helped organise TEDx events and many great happenings around the city. Being a go-getter, she soon realised that all young people need is a little help to achieve their goals. So she's recently got behind a growing organisation called Inspiring Stories, which was started back in 2011.
Inspiring Stories Trust is an organisation that aims to unleash young people's potentials in New Zealand, targeting mostly 18 to 30-year-olds.
But to help these young people reach their full potential does cost money. Realising this, the Trust recently opened its own fund called the Future Fund.
It's a fund that they've set up so young people in New Zealand can access scholarship support resources to help them make change in the community.
Not only is the Future Fund designed to help the community, it's funded by the community itself. Last month, the Trust started a real drive for fundraising, with a goal of raising $1 million by the 30th of September. Austin and some friends decided to get involved after being inspired by the Trust's work. Unfortunately, they fell short of the goal, but that has not dampened their enthusiasm for the project.
Christchurch at the moment is a hotbed for sort of social entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs, and lots of young people are at a stage where they're learning about social entrepreneur and also how to make change in their communities after the earthquakes. And I personally think that young people have a lot of potential, especially in Christchurch in the current situation, that they need a lot of support around that.
And they are organising some great new projects to accelerate growth for the youth of Christchurch, including one coming up in November.
A 10-week accelerator program for young people to go through, which they can get access to mentorship and also just an environment to develop their ideas around how to change the world socially, environmentally and economically.
That is great stuff from the Inspiring Stories Trust, and if you're keen to help them out, you can visit their Give a Little page to donate. Emma Jane McClellan, CTV News.
Still to come, we preview weekend sport in Canterbury. Welcome back. Now here's Gordon Finlater with your weekend sports preview.
One of the biggest rivalries in provincial rugby will heat up tomorrow when Canterbury travel north to take on Tasman at Trafalgar Park. The Cantabs have the chance to lock up top spot heading into the playoffs, while Tasman will be looking to keep their red-hot form going and sneak into top spot in the ITM Cup. The team are now through what was a hectic last week with 3 games in the space of 7 days. Canterbury's first loss of the season came in the third of those against Taranaki. Lessons will be taken from the loss, but coach Scott Robertson believes his side had their fair share of chances to take the match.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to lose to learn. I think it's a big thing, you know. But we took one, and we just. You know, again, you got to praise them. We had opportunities to win it and we didn't take them.
Not helping the cause, Canterbury was struck a blow just prior to Sunday's kickoff with powerful winger Patrick Osborne succumbing to an ongoing calf issue.
Yeah, Pat's really valuable for us, and he's a key guy for us for line breaks and scoring tries and stuff, and for him to miss out was disappointing. You know, he's worked really hard.
One Cantab sure to be up for Saturday's match in Nelson is halfback Mitchell Drummond. The former Nelson College product had a tough decision to make following secondary school, choosing to represent Canterbury at provincial level.
Yeah, when I first left, then I had to make a decision. But my decision wasn't just based around rugby. It was based around, getting out and doing my own thing and moving out of home. And so it wasn't just a footy decision, but I'm loving my time down in Christchurch, and yeah, it's definitely home down here now.
Now in his second full ITM Cup campaign with the Red and Blacks, Drummond was also lucky enough to get a healthy taste of Super Rugby earlier in the year.
First few games were definitely nerves, really nervous, but then as the season went on, the nerves turned to excitement, and I really look forward to whoever we were playing, and I think I grew my game a lot last year, and I'm looking to do that each week as we move forward in this campaign.
And with the senior spot at halfback this season Drummond is enjoying the new leading role.
Yeah, it's good. It's obviously Andy's a Canterbury, he's part of the furniture. He's been here for a while, so not having him around's a little bit different. But like you said, it's opened a door for me to get better at that part of my game, and take on a little bit more of a role in that department.
Drummond will start at halfback tomorrow. Meanwhile, the big admission from the side to take on Tasman is captain Luke Whitelock, with the busy period of games taking a toll on the number 8. That means that Tom Sanders will step into his boots, while Tom Taylor will get his second opportunity to captain the side. The rest of the Canterbury 15 remains unchanged from the side that lost to Taranaki on Sunday. Tomorrow's game in Nelson kicks off at 2:35. To rugby league, and it will be a finals-like atmosphere at AMI Stadium tomorrow when our Canterbury Bulls take on Counties Manukau. The two teams have history, with Counties missing out on last year's grand final after fielding ineligible players during the season. One of those incidents occurred against the Bulls, and Canterbury's only loss of last season. With the Bulls currently perfect this year to date, coach Daryl Code knows the importance of a win in this crucial game.
It is our biggest game of the season, now. We obviously, we're in the situation where if we beat them this weekend that we can possibly get a home final. Obviously, we're not taking away from Northern. We've still got to play them the week after. So, it's a good opportunity for us, and I guess it's another opportunity for us just to see where we're at this far through the season. Tomorrow afternoon's match kicks off at 2:30. Well, Netball Now and Christchurch have missed out on a chance to win back-to-back national titles after a narrow loss in yesterday's semi-final. Christchurch took on a strong Wellington side playing on home soil, and the Cantabs were looking good early, taking the first quarter by 4 goals. However, the home side would chip their way back from then on, eventually taking the game by the slimmest of margins, 43 goals to 41. To motorsport, and Hayden Paddon takes his talents to the tarmac of Corsica this weekend in the 11th round of this year's World Rally Championship. The rally of 10,000 corners returns to the championship for the first time in several years, exposing the majority of drivers to unknown roads on the French island. Paddon has been hard at work honing in on his tarmac skills since the last sealed event in Germany, and Paddon's last outing in the WRC at Rally Australia brought a solid result, finishing 5th overall. He'll be looking to build on that result in Corsica with the objective to stay on the road and bring home as much points as possible. Well, finally tonight, still with motorsport, and it's the second round of the South Island Endurance Series at Ruapuna tomorrow. Some of the country's most exotic vehicles will take to the track in the 2 feature races. The 1-hour event is due to start at lunchtime, with the 3-hour enduro getting underway at 2 p.m. Well, you're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
Canterbury rugby referee Chelsea Gibb will make history tomorrow when she becomes the 4th female in New Zealand to umpire 20 or more first-class rugby games. Gibb will hit the landmark 20 games after umpiring the Canterbury women's team in their clash with Manamatua at Rugby Park tomorrow morning. Since she started umpiring 12 years ago, Gur has also become the second female referee to reach Division 1 rugby in Christchurch. The impressive umpire's milestone is made all the more special as she almost had to hang up the boots a couple of years ago when she contracted meningitis. Now it's time for the region's weather forecast.
Kia ora Canterbury. Well, today beautiful sunny skies out there. We had a bit of high cloud this morning, but that burnt off in the afternoon and those northwesterly winds for coastal areas. Today's highs first up, 17 there for almost everyone here. Apart from Twizel, you took out 18 degrees today. Central Canterbury, 19 was the high for Christchurch and Darfield there. A little bit cooler for Akaroa and Methven on 17. 18 for you, Leeston and Ashburton. Heading further north, 18 there for you, Kaikoura as well. 19 for Cheviot, Hanmer Springs, Culverden, Rangiora and Oxford. And Amberley, you had a beautiful 20 degrees today. And over to the mountain ranges, a little bit cooler for Arthur's Pass on 7 degrees, and Lake Tekapo you actually doubled that temperature with 14. Now beautiful sunny skies for you, Timaru, for your Saturday. Northerly winds coming through in the afternoon and 18 degrees for your high there. Ashburton, blue skies in store for your Saturday as well. 18's your expected high and northerly winds coming through later on. Christchurch, cloudy skies first up, but sunny spells throughout the day. 19 for your high there, light winds in the morning and 5 for your morning start. Flipping now through Kaikoura, a mild day for you. Great for that sea fest coming up on Saturday. 17 degrees for your high. And looking to the rest of the Canterbury region for tomorrow, northerly winds for almost everyone here and 18 degrees for you. Waimate is your high. Central Canterbury, northerlies breezing through for Leeston and Methven. Northwesterlies though for Akaroa and you Darfield. Darfield actually on 19 degrees, so a lovely hot one for your Saturday there. Heading further north, northwesterlies breezing through, especially in the afternoon for everyone here. 20 degrees is the high for Cheviot and you Culverden, and 19 for Oxford and Rangiora. Heading over to the Alpine region, again cold for you Arthur's Pass, and could be getting down to 2 in the morning and 1,000 metres of snow possibly lowering for you as well. Lovely weather for the major centres on Sunday. 22 degrees is the high there for, and northwesterly winds for you Kaikoura. Northwesterlies for everyone else on Sunday as well, and Monday we're actually seeing a few southerlies come through, bring a few showers in the morning, northerlies in the afternoon and evening though. On Sunday the rest of the Canterbury region can look forward to that sunshine, beautiful warm temperatures. However, we could be seeing a few gusty northwesterly winds really coming through Sunday afternoon and evening. Looking ahead to Monday, the odd shower first up. However, we should be seeing that clearing with northerly winds coming in later on and a dry afternoon hopefully. So over the next few days, beautiful temperatures, beautiful sunshine for Saturday and Sunday. Get outdoors if you can and enjoy it. And that's your weather update for Friday. Have a great weekend.
And don't forget to check out CTV stories. You can always head to our website at ctv.co.nz. Don't forget to join me on News Talk CB on 8:35 Monday. But from everyone here at CTV News, have a great weekend.